with Audible. Kalki, let's start with you. Tell me what was challenging and what was exciting that brought you on to this project?
Am I audible? Yeah. I think I had already read Mafia Queens of Mumbai a few years back. The foreword had been written by Vishal Bhardwaj, and it caught my eye, and I really liked the book, so that was exciting. B, I think that as an actor, it's wonderful to use your voice and play with the nuances, and I think audio really allows for that, to really play on the different voices and telling a story. And yeah, I think that's enough, no? A and B.
Radhika, what about you?
No, I agree with Kalki, but I also feel that as a child, I was brought up with a lot of storytelling. I think storytelling is a part of our culture, a very big part of our culture. And I remember listening to those cassettes of Pula Deshpande reading his own books. And there was this another tape I remember called Chan Chan Goshti. In Marathi it means good tales. And so he was always there, and I think I lost that for a long time. And then I got to know about Audible, and I I heard a book on Audible very recently when actually they got in touch. So I thought it was just the perfect thing to do. And I hadn't explored expressing through voice only, because on a video or stage, whatever, you have so many other things to enhance or support what you're trying to communicate. But here you just have your voice, and so how you want to pitch it, and what is the tonal quality, or how you want to direct the imagination of the listener. And also it's personal, because everyone's going to listen to it individually. So it's like a personal relationship, I think, when it feels like that. And also in your studio, when you're silently doing that, it feels like a very personal thing. So I thought I'll enjoy it, and I did.
We know that the three of you are amazing actors, right? But here, when you have only your voice, what techniques do you use to bring alive a book like this? What did you do, Raj? Was it intimidating at all?
I thought it would be pretty smooth, but it wasn't actually.
You went in thinking, "Aasan hoga."
I thought I just had to go and narrate a story and read out a story. But I think it was a bit challenging as well, because you have to, of course, narrate a story and also keep it engaging and entertaining for the listeners, and also to moderate voice. Like in one of my stories, which is Sapna Didi, I'm playing Sapna Didi as well. Like otherwise, I could have never played Sapna Didi for films. I think that's the fun of Audible, being part of Audible, that you could play as actors. You got to play so many characters in just one story. And also just the idea, I was really excited that I had to do a solo performance where I could only use my voice and modulate everything through my voice. Also, I just thought it would be great to explore this idea. But I think all of us, we had a lot of fun, recording all these amazing stories.
How do you know when it's not going well?
How do we know?
When it's just voice, how can you tell?
No, we had amazing people who were guiding us, and also you could hear it. You could hear it. You could you could listen to your takes and then figure out if it's working or not. If it has that kind of impact or not that you wanted to create.
And also when you get a pronunciation wrong 8 times, Mahalakshmi Pappamani, it takes you a while. Now I can say it really well, Mahalakshmi Pappamani. But in the beginning I was saying Papa Mani and all sorts of things. So yeah.
Don, Audible has of course collaborated with some of the greatest actors in the world. What is your impression of what our actors have done?
It's been fantastic to talk to them today about, what they saw, that they did see that there's a complexity to it. I told them what many actors tell us, that it's like long distance running as opposed to movies, which are more like sprinting, because the intensity of the short shots, the intensity of the close-ups. But one of the things is that some of the actors we hired, they loved the control it gave them without too much direction. And then I have to say, a lot of them also love the fact that I learned this when I found Susan Sarandon in our studios in the East, and she was apparently wearing pajamas. And she came on, said to me, "No hair and makeup. It's such a gift to be able to just do it in a casual way." And the reality is, too, that you can fit this in. You know, the commitment levels to stars like these is a very intense schedule. You can fit this in a couple of days and have another creative platform. But that's, I think, what we'll find, which we've found, is the actors now are coming to us in droves. It's, you know, never forget when Annette Bening basically kind of attacked me at an event saying, everyone in Hollywood's working for you but me, what's wrong with me? And I said, well, you can actually do it too. So she was in the studio the next week. And I think when it gets going in India, it's such a particular art form and a particular kind of storytelling tradition that the most creative people in any culture will come to it. But that's what happens with technology when new things happen. The invention of television, the invention of radio. They often call them golden ages, and we're experiencing this globally now.
Did you guys enjoy that? No hair and makeup?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I think one day I came in after a jog, like fully sweaty and everything, and went straight in, which was great.
Yeah, actually once I went cycling. Yeah, my driver was not there and the car was not there, and I thought, let me just cycle. Yeah.
So was there an excerpt or one story from Mafia Queens that really appealed to you, for any of you?
Yes. Is this working? Yeah, now it's working. There's Gangubai's story that really appealed to me. That's one of the stories I read. Mostly because I think that time in Mumbai, I mean, it's my home now, and I'm not really aware of how it would have been. And I think all the mafia stories that I've seen so far are predominantly about men, and women just sort of have the secondary position. But these stories are about women. And Gangubai especially, I think she was a victim of, you name it. I mean, betrayed, made into a prostitute, like she had to do, da da da. And she just did not victimize herself, and she stood shoulder to shoulder with all the dons and made her voice heard to literally the people governing the country. And it's such an inspiring story, and a very compassionate woman. So it was fascinating reading her story, I think.
For you, Kalki?
I like some of the shorter humorous stories. There's this character, this person, Chota Shakil, who was in Dubai, and he had a lover girlfriend called Rubina in Bombay. So they would have these email interactions where, you know, they're talking about business and have you gone and picked up this thing from that person, and in between it was like, Meri Jaan, da 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 da. And so there's this like weird interaction that these women, he was having several affairs actually, and each of his affairs he was saying Meri Jaan to, and it's quite funny. Those stories are quite funny.
Radhika, how has the Audible experience been for you? Like, what do you think of the diversity that the app offers?
I think I mean, it's just launching here, but I mean, I think otherwise you take any genre, you take any kind of information you want to listen, like know, or you want to have any subject, and also the people who are reading it are incredible performers or writers reading their own material as well. So it's completely very, very diverse, and now that I've had a taste of it, and I'm sure there's a long way to go, and you know, a lot of practice needed, but I think now I'll listen to it with a different perspective, and see what works for me, what doesn't work, and how effective, why is it effective. And I know that they're launching a lot of Hindi books as well. I'm really looking forward to that, because I studied in Marathi, and then I studied in English. So I have read Marathi books and I've read English books, but Hindi I understand perfectly well. But I don't read it very fast, and now I can actually, I have a very convenient way of knowing the literature and certain books that I've been wanting to know.
Did you three sort of learn anything during this experience that now you'll take back to your craft as you do other things, movies, plays, everything else?
Subtlety.
Yeah, apart from a lot of correct pronunciations, I think, yeah, what you said, subtlety is something that you don't have to be really expressive. If you just feel it, it comes in your voice. I think it was mostly about acting for us also. Probably a little technical, that you have to keep it, you have to pronounce it right, in the right way, and you have to have that throw. But apart from that, it was just like acting, just how you do it for feature films. You just have to feel it and then do it in a way. So I think subtlety is something which I really, I think I would take back from this experience.
I think I personally feel this, and it's not a general statement, but speech has not given its due importance sometimes in films recently, where it also becomes very candid. Everything has to be very subtle. I mean, not that subtle, but you know, like underplayed and candid. And so, how important is breathing while you speak, and how important is where you breathe, and the importance of the weight of the words is not as well studied as it used to be, you know, because these actors used to really deliver their lines, and that's not the case right now. But here it mattered so much where you took that breath and how much did you finish, what did you do, whether you went down or when you went up. And it was very good for me to understand that again and say, oh, I don't pay so much attention when I'm performing. So that was another thing I think I'll take back.
Yeah, what I love is that it teaches you